Before I begin the video, I will remind you to please click like if you like my content and subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, and more importantly, go to our website and send us your email address to become a VIP that we can send you announcements and VIP benefits that we'll think of as we go along. So thank you very much, and let's go on. So today is a warm summer day, not hot, and I'm really glad to have Ian visiting from Cornell to work on his bonsai. And I like to teach him how to make bonsai so he can have his own enjoyable hobby later on in life. He is my number 2 grandson. I have total 6 grandchildren. He has 2 brothers, and he is studying biotech in Cornell. I'm very proud of him. So now introduce yourself and sell yourself.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm my grandfather's 4th grandson or grandchild, and I'm, like you said, studying biology at Cornell. And I guess in the future, I want to do something related to healthcare, so like creating healthcare products. But we picked this tree out 2 years ago, and we've been working on it kind of on and off, and I'm excited to see like what we can do today to fix it up.
So without much ado then, I will start working on this tree, and then he will work on this tree, and I give him pointers. This tree was bought maybe 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago from Orange County. And so it was already a 20 years old plus tree with a fairly large trunk. I would say the tree from the ground stood about this high. And I cut off most of the branches to use the lower branch and build it up again. So you can see it's a massive trunk. And the point here is that you usually begin with an older tree so that you don't have to begin with a skinny little trunk. And let it grow. And for the longest time, it was sitting in probably a 15-gallon nursery pot. So it's got plenty of roots, in a sense, plenty of soil for the roots to get the nutrient. So it grew thicker, and I pruned it along the way to shape it. And then about 10 years ago, I put it in this bonsai pot, because once you put in a bonsai pot, it is not likely to grow as quickly. So now, let me now start working on this tree. There's not much. I usually begin working on the roots first. And in this case, there's not much to work on the roots. Neither is this one. And the reason is that because the roots we already took care of it. If you didn't take care of the tree when they're young, the roots are tangled. It's really hard to untangle. So we already took care of the roots. So the next area that I emphasize to work on is the apex, the top. And so you work from the top and you work your way down. And one of the tendency is to let the top grow. And pretty soon it's a little too high. And then you have to do a drastic cut. You set back another couple years. So what I do is I can see this tree is coming up, turning, and then the final turn is here, and then turn up here. So I like it to grow probably here to kind of fill this hole. So with that in mind then, I will none of these are in that direction. They're more in the sidewards. So, okay, I would just cut it right here. And then here it would shoot out in all directions. And then I would choose one that goes this way. I think this may very well be the apex. It comes up this way and it goes up straight. So in fact, let me just emphasize that by cutting this off to remind me that it's going to be the apex. So now you can see this branch is coming up like this, and it's going to go up like this, and then it will have the branches coming out this side eventually from this one. So you do it with a little bit of vision what I want to be, and give it a time to grow into that. So I will pretty much leave this alone because I can do the fine tuning relatively easily. So I will work the next tier down. And the next tier is that this one can be a long branch like this. So I think it's nice to have a branch coming out this way and then start going out this way. So with that in mind, then I'll cut off here. Now, for people who wants to do wiring, that's fine. I don't like to do it because it's too time consuming. What I can do is I can wire it this way and make this branch go this way and then, make this go that way. You can see very quickly I will have a more full branch, but instead I cut off here. Now you can see this is a very nice angle. Instead of a wimpy bent angle, it will come out this way to give me what I need, and this will come out this way to get what I need. For this to get to this length, it's probably 6 months, 3 months. So instead of wiring to get a wimpy turn, I get a very sharp turn, but maybe 3 months delayed. So this will have a branch going out that way. And then this one, well, I think there's a branch below. So I think I'll accentuate this one going this way by cutting this. And then this, I don't want to go that sharp an angle, so I will cut it off here. Yeah, so like this branch, like how would you cut this branch, right? You kind of want this is a kind of nice looking angle.
Yeah.
So you want a branch to go out this way and then this way.
Right.
Then you cut it off right here.
Cut off at the top so it goes.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, this is going pointing up. But if you cut it, then it's no longer pointing up, right? What's remaining is pointing that way when it comes out.
So if you cut it off this way, then it'll start growing the other way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means you can cut it anywhere and it will shoot out any random angle, and then you pick the next time to go the right direction. So you can either get it right the first time or plan ahead to get it right the next time.
It's a lot of iterations.
That's correct. And after 3 iterations, 3 years later, 9 iterations, the tree will be really nice.
Yeah.
Now, I donated a couple of trees to Huntington Library probably 15, 20 years ago. And I must say it was more like this, very sparse, because that's how I train my trees. And I lost track. I finally, last week, one of the Bonsaiheirloom folks went there and took some photographs. And the tree is just absolutely full, very similar to what you see in the Japanese bonsai books. It's really beautiful. So my point is you start with a very dense tree, you reduce it, and then you let it grow and you shape it along the way. That is a really very fast way to create a good looking bonsai. And you don't need 15 years. I think 5 years make a very, very big difference. So that is a technique. What I'm trying to do is that rather than wiring and all that detail, right now I'm trying to clip it, like instead of paying attention to form the paths, I'll be very casual. I just pinch it and cut it, poodling it. And then when it grows out, then I can cut off the redundant branch. But in the meantime, even though this is really more like poodling, but at a distance looks very full and nice. It's a nice pad. But the traditional way is that you don't do that. You wind up wiring each branch where it wants to be. Very nice, but it's very time consuming. And the end result is that not that much different. So, for example, I mentioned clip and grow and wiring and all that. You can ask some questions about that.
So what's the difference between, I guess, cutting it off versus pulling it off?
Well, the juniper, that's a very good question. Juniper, let's say hypothetically, I want to create a pad here, right? The pad meaning like it goes like this, right?
Yeah.
And for example, I say I clip it. Okay?
Right.
So I now have a shape that looks like this.
Right.
You know what the problem is?
It's not permanent. It'll grow back?
No, yeah, they all grow back. But where I cut, it'll be a brown spot. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have a whole bunch of brown spots that's very ugly. But whereas you pull off 1 or 2 growths. So there will be not so much highly visible brown spots. You see? So like this one, this is the apex. This probably wants to go out this way actually because you got this one here. So you probably want this branch to encourage this branch to grow.
I see.
Yeah, and then when it grows big, you try to pinch it to create a pad right there.
Right.
Okay, so I'll do cutting and pinching to very quickly create a pad that I wanted. You see now, I only basically created 5 little brown spots, not highly visible, but it's starting to form the shape of a pad. And like this one, it's a little thick. I can pinch it, then I cut it very carefully right above a node so that it will be kind of hidden.
Yes.
Okay?
So now which way will this branch grow?
Well, when this branch grow, think of it this way. When I cut this off, like I just cut at random, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Now you can see all of these are pointing up.
Yes.
There will be shoots coming out here
Yeah.
all over, and then these will be starting to grow taller.
Right.
And then you can pinch off the one you want to grow, and then pinch off the rest.
I see.
So that's how you gradually build up.
Make it more full.
Yeah. So I don't want this tree to look too bare because it's already pretty full. And so I'm going to do more pinching and the less drastic cut aside from, for shaping purposes. As much as like this, I don't really need it to be too long. I think it's really good when people ask me questions. I encourage you to send me questions because that forces me to think, to improve my procedures. It's all so easy to go one-track mind and thinking I'm doing fine. In reality, I might miss something. None of us have infinite wisdom. We got to learn from each other. We got to challenge each other so that we can all improve, learn in the process. Bonsai is a never-ending learning process because there's no one kind of tree in the sense that a tree doesn't grow uniformly. Each tree presents a new challenge, which is in fact the beauty of it. What it means, the opportunity for creativity and art. I'm really excited about bonsai. It's got so many virtues that I hope people will pick that up and start to benefit from the enjoyment we can derive from it. And I thank you very much for all the encouragement that I got. People seem to really like my philosophy, my approach, and my attitude. And frankly, I have much to share because I've been thinking about things all my life, all the way from health tips to raising children, to education, career. I started with nothing. Everything I got to learn from beginning. And from that, I understand the fundamental issues. So I'm happy to share with you. You write to me, and if not people write to me about one subject, I can do a video on it, even though it may be off the bonsai subject sometimes. I don't want to do too much of it, but I can certainly do some of it. So you clip off enough to provide balance where you think a branch will grow, right? And so I'm already about a quarter done. Like this branch, I don't know, it comes out. It's kind of nice, but it's kind of like bumping into that one. So, I cut it off and make it into a jin, make it into a deadwood, which makes it very interesting. Less is more sometimes. This one is getting very tight in the sense of too crowded. So I'm going to pull this off to make into a jin. So that's a full branch, and that's a jin, a nice complement. Now, like this branch, this is a bit of a challenge. You can see this is coming out, and it's going that way. Kind of no rhyme or reason. So on the other hand, it's kind of nice to have that fill a hole here. And then this one, it's really kind of long. Probably I would like this branch to come out and go this way, shorten this, and then let this one keep going to maybe about here.
I guess like when you're cutting bonsai, what's the balance between keeping enough leaves so it grows a lot?
That's a very good point. You've been thinking. Well, think of it this way. The root is coming up, providing so much water and nutrient.
Right.
And when it comes up here, it has to distribute into all of the branches.
Yep.
So if you have redundant branches that you will never use,
Yeah.
it uses up the nutrient unnecessarily.
That's true.
So you cut it off. On the other hand, if you cut off too much, then the leaves does not provide photolysis to grow the tree.
Yeah.
And so you deprive of a nutrient.
Right.
So it's really a balance between speeding up the design process versus, and keeping the tree robust and growing fast, thicken faster.
But like something like this is definitely more than enough. There's more than enough leaves and branches.
That's correct. And therefore, I can thin off, and I try not to thin off too much. But, like saying this branch got to be here, and let me pinch it off to create a pad so that the pad will thicken. You want a branch to go sideways.
Yeah.
So you don't want this to grow up. So you keep it here so these will grow.
Downwards.
Yeah, instead of energy goes up.
Yeah.
So again, that sort of answers part of your question. And in fact, if I look at this, I think it'll be nice. Like this is nice, but it'll kind of long. But if I cut it off here, and I make this branch go this way, you can see now this branch is coming this way, and I make this a pad.
Like for this tree, it looks like most of the branches and leaves are pointing upwards, right?
Yes.
Which means it's like this has been out in like an open space and the sun is like shines all around. But you can also use the sun to direct which way the leaves grow, right?
In fact, leaves always seek the sun.
Right.
And so if the sun is this way, they tend to grow this way.
Right.
The leaves pointing up, the branches pointing up tend to thicken the most.
Right.
And so, I don't know, you just keep adjusting it,
But do you ever put it in like a place where the sun only hits it in one side of the tree, so then all the leaves move towards one direction?
In fact, that is a design, a style.
Yeah.
So for example, a tree grows on the side of a cliff.
Yeah.
And then when it grows out, it's shaded, it doesn't grow that much.
Right.
It keeps seeking light away from the cliff. And that's what cascade is. Right. You see a cascade tree on the side of a cliff.
Yeah, like on the side of like a mountain.
Yeah, and then if the wind blows, keep growing this direction, the branches tend to grow this way, and that's called windswept. So everything, a tree is a depiction of nature.
Yeah.
And a bonsai, that is. And so the bonsai, whole idea about bonsai, it's a depiction of nature in miniature, bring it closer to home.
Right.
So you're always trying to be able to explain why your tree looked that way.
Right.
You cannot be contrived.
Right.
It's not an Asian contorted thing. It just isn't. Not supposed to be. But if you can explain why a tree is contorted a certain way by the forces of nature, then that makes it really a good bonsai.
Right.
Because you say, wow, it can even get to be that stage.
Yeah.
So that is the interest of bonsai. Some people in the beginning, at least when they don't understand what I was trying to cut back the initial cutting design very drastically, because redundant branches has to go outside of design criteria, and there's no other way but to cut it. But then once you get it close, then you don't cut as much just like what I'm doing now. I'm only cutting away the redundant growth to force the growth in the right branches.
Like let's say you want it to grow more on this side rather than this side. If you keep more branches on this side, will this grow faster then?
Yes, yes, especially like you pointed out, the leaves tend to point up.
Yeah.
The more that are pointing up, the better. So like this tree, I want this to be a pad, but this one could be, I think it's more interesting this way. So I don't cut it very carefully now because I can always pull it off later.
Right.
So I'm just going to keep going to clean up. I'm about halfway done, a little bit more than halfway done. And then we can work on your tree and keep asking questions.
Wait, so before you start working on a tree, how much do you sort of have an idea of what the final product will look like?
Yeah, and that is one of the things when I introduce you later in more detail, since you're going to be the start of the bonsai making, in a sense of what is your career goal, right?
Right.
You always begin with the end in mind. So when you work on a tree, you say, what do I want the tree to be used for? And what do I want the tree to look like 20 years from today? And all those questions so that there's no surprises. At the end, you're much more likely to get to, what you had in mind. Otherwise, it's a random walk. It's not a very efficient process to get there. So like this tree coming out this way, you kind of want to essentially keep going. So you clip off those that are going in the other direction to distract, but more focusing on that. And then you want this branch to kind of be the pad on the side. So you do this.
So what's your vision for this branch?
So this branch will be coming out this way because it's kind of a long reaching for the
Right.
light. And this branch will be coming out. Oh, sorry. It will be fine. It's coming out this way. It will grow out this way to form a little pad here.
Yep.
And then this way form a little pad there to fill out this hole.
I see.
So, but eventually this one will be longer than this. So I can try to cut it short a little bit now.
Right.
But you want this to start growing.
Right. Because right now I see two paths.
Yeah. So this is good. You ask a good questions. So these are same question that many of the new bonsai folks, new bonsai hobbyists, will be asking the same question. So that helps their learning process. I really want to, I keep telling people, bragging about my old age. I'm 84 years old. I want to really share with you everything I know before I go. And then folks like you can then carry it on.
Right.
So like this branch, it's a bit of a challenge. I say this goes this way. This is really nice to rhyme with this. And so if that's the case, then this will be make a lot shorter.
I guess like going back to the planting of the trees, is it like when you first buy the tree, then you already have a plan, an idea of what you want it to eventually look like maybe in like 5-10 years?
Ian's asking a very question about starting a bonsai. So when I go to a nursery, I joke about I'm looking under people's shirts, skirts, look at what's the trunk. So I'm looking for 5-gallon cans, typically even bigger, rarely less than a 5-gallon can. I look for the thick trunk to get a head start. And then I look for the interesting curves. And then beyond a certain point, I don't care about the top because I just want to use the bottom trunk to build on. And so that's the additive process. I subtract the top I don't want and then let it grow back by adding to it what I want. So I will have a perfect tree with a base of interesting characteristic that I'm looking for and then to build on. And so that's what I look for in a tree. But when I look at the curve of the base, I formulate what do I need to build on it to create the final bonsai I want. How tall does it want to be? How thick does it want to be? Therefore, I decide whether to put it in a growing pot or just put it in a bonsai pot.
Right. So it's kind of like the base
Yeah.
the larger parts that
Yeah.
you look at first.
Yeah, you start with the bigger trees, and then you formulate a vision what you can modify it to become.
Right.
So now I'm coming to the front, again with the top first, and you can see there's a plenty design opportunities. Like you can see, this is a wimpy curve,
Right.
right? So I don't like wimpy curves, and so I cut it off. Then it's no longer wimpy. By the way, all these can be put in the ground and root very quickly. In about 6 weeks or so, you will have a new juniper. So it's great to be a bonsai hobbyist. Create bonsai, you can create a lot of them. Don't do too many. Whatever you do has to be done right, in the sense that before you scale. And then you have a lot of good trees to give away, because when you give someone a bonsai, it's a very personal gift. You made it, and you spent time working on it. Even if you bought the tree, then it's a very personal gift that is much, much appreciated.
And now, and then you can pass it on to someone else too.
And
then
pass on
they
to my
start-
grandchildren,
yeah,
heirloom.
they start working on it. Why do you think of two branches that clash like these two? Do you
Like this one and this one. Well, cut it off.
cut it off?
You don't need it.
That's also dead, right?
Yeah, that's also there. Yeah, it actually would. A juniper takes a long time to fall off, but you remember, actually, from this angle, this is the front. This is a much better apex than the one I found.
Right.
And so, we can let it grow, and then we can decide the next time. So you can change your mind all the time, but any one time you're working towards a vision, that's the point. And how would a kid know what are the possibilities they will encounter? Never possible. So formulate a vision, and then be prepared to change. Okay, almost done. Like this is an interesting, challenging branch. You can see this is a very interesting angle. This is a little bit weird, so I have to be very careful. When in doubt, cut off a little bit less. Give you some option when it shoots out the next time. You can make the fine adjustment rather than cut it off and then you regret it. It takes a long time to grow back. So now let's take a look at the tree one more time. So now if you look back, you can see the tree is fairly much cleaned up. And then you can say, from a big picture standpoint, how else can I make this tree look a little bit more interesting? So for example, I think,
Lift it up.
yeah, hold on, push it in. So you can see this tree has a little bit more turn with us. And so we can either repot it now or repot it next time, 6 months before we work on it next time. You can see, I think this is a much better angle. And you keep doing, each time you do a little fine tuning until you get it exactly right. And so bonsai is something, it's not created overnight, but you gradually work on it to fine tune it, that when you see a design change opportunity, I think this tree makes it look a lot more robust by less of a bend from the very beginning. And it's all these little fine tuning that makes a very big difference. And I'm not sure there's much more fine tuning I need. I was thinking about making this branch droop down a little bit more to create more of a contrast of the two angles, which I think that we can do very quickly. And so let me go as a demonstration. I'll do that, then we're done. Then you work on your next tree, okay?
All right.
I will use a guy wire to pull this branch down a little bit by anchoring to this root. And I'll pull this down. Now you stand back here to see what is the right angle. So just for the heck of it, not very big deal, we can always readjust it. So suppose I say that is the angle, and I can remove this wire in about 1 or 2 months, and that branch will stay put. And it looks very similar nature that it droops down on its own weight as it grows. And now you have one that's more slightly this way, and this one slightly more down that way, and this one slightly even more. And so that's how you gradually adjust it to fine tune it to the way that, that pleases you the most. So there's plenty anchor possibilities to pull the branches down. Like this one, I think pulling it down a little bit more will make it look nicer. Oh, you see, I cracked it, but that's okay because the cambium layer will be connected, the tree will be perfectly fine, and it gave me the right angle. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Okay, now you work on your own.
Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video so far. We got a lot more going on. This is about halfway. Please click like if you like my content, and subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, and more importantly, go to our website and sign up to become our VIP for goodies. Early on, I taught him how to work on this tree, and this tree he picked about 2 years ago, and we've been cutting it thin back. And he actually, instead of picking this the front, he picked that to be the front. So it's his own tree.
Right.
His design, his idea. With that in mind, keep going on this tree, and I'll provide you pointers.
All right.
It's yours.
Yeah. Like we said before, this was like chosen like around 2 years ago, and I think before it, the front was kind of on this side, but then we tilted the tree this way, and then we put the front over here, just so that it's like more spread apart and that you can see like that there's like a sharper angle at the top.
In that sense, building on what you said, the sharper angle just means you want to be drastic.
Right.
You don't want to be mediocre, therefore a good tree. You want to be drastic to be a fantastic tree.
Right.
Okay, what else?
All right, so I guess something else about the tree is that there's this little dead branch over here, which is quite prominent because it's in the middle of the tree. And I think it adds like kind of like a second layer, like the top, and it kind of like caves down with like lots of branches. But then at the bottom you have like 1, 2, kind of 3 big pieces of dead bark, which I thought was pretty unique.
Yeah, they call it jin.
Yeah, jin, yeah. All right, okay.
And then the other really nice feature is this one came out of nowhere and on its own did this kind of design. Of course, we cut it off here.
Right.
But that adds a really nice double trunk feature that are fairly rare. So, and given it's a reasonable sized trunk, when you get to age 40, the trunk will be this big, very full, it will be spectacular. So you start with a drastic tree,
Yeah.
and gradually build on it. Okay, go.
I mean, like, even in the past 2 years, it's grown a lot. Like, I can probably send you guys a picture from
if you
when
can.
it was first. Yeah, it was a lot smaller. Okay, so I guess we can start by cutting around the top, right?
Yeah,
So,
you got it. Yeah.
in my like you said, you should look for the apex first, right? I guess in my opinion, I would.
Let's discuss that. Yeah.
We can discuss it a little bit. So right now, like the top is actually pretty flat, as you can see, but do you think keeping 2 sides is okay? Like 2 branches out here
Yeah.
is
So,
okay?
for example, to be drastic, you have a little branch growing here.
Right.
Just imagine this tree coming up this way and then growing that way, and then start to spread out here.
Right.
And then you got this going down and this going down.
Right.
It'll be spectacular.
Right.
It is not so obvious now with the little nub, but that's the vision you kind of create, and then you make sure you remember that's the apex,
Okay.
and then cut it off the
All
next time.
Then I was cut like over here then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, don't be afraid, just cut.
Yeah.
If you made a mistake, it will
It'll
grow back.
always grow back.
Yeah.
What do you
Just
think
pull it
about
off.
this?
Just
Okay,
pull
yeah,
it
sure,
off.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
You can pull it the other way, then it's easier to come off. Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Okay, just a little bit. I'd rather want this to come out this way, so I'm gonna cut on this side
Yeah, that's good.
for it to stop growing.
And then pull off the bottom that
Yeah.
you don't need. Yeah, there are a lot of bottom there. Yeah.
So this.
Like all of these bottom you can
Yeah.
pull off.
Okay. Okay.
So like this branch is going this way. So if you cut it off right here, this will then grow out. See?
Right.
Yeah. No. Wait a minute. Right here.
Sorry. Yeah. You show me.
Yeah. Like right about here. See?
Okay. Yeah.
I can't keep my cotton picking hands off.
I don't do bonsai that much, so.
Well, you don't do that often, but you will.
So let me just remove a lot of these.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is that drastic either. It's still pretty straight. So
Yeah. Okay.
is there any way to, how would you make it more aggressive?
Well, you
Like this
don't
branch.
have to. Everything has to be drastic. So, for example, this tree is way too flat, so it's easily bent here. You can crack it a little bit, and it will bend really easily. So if you cut it here, now you got a bend, and then
Like here?
you can cut it here. Let's say no here, yeah,
Here.
right above, yeah, right here.
Okay.
A little bit closer to the stem. Yeah.
Here. Here.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you have a branch coming out this way, and then you have a branch coming out this way. Now you can see kind of nice,
Nice. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you can do a little bit of pinching this way.
So since I cut this off,
Hmm?
will it regrow?
No, it will not.
It won't.
Juniper and pine will not.
Okay.
The citrus tree, by and large, like elm especially, will. You cut off a little bit. So later on, we'll remember to put a wire
Okay.
here to pull it down.
All right.
Okay, next.
All right. Let's just like finish these. Just cut.
Be a little careful.
Okay. All right. These should be okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Let's remove the excess.
Some of that you can pull off easy.
I'm just gonna cut this off. Actually,
Sure.
is that okay? You think?
I don't think so,
No.
because I think it's nice to have a little bit of green this way.
But these are kind of
so maybe cut off right
conflicting
here.
with each other. Here.
Yeah, sure.
Close
Yeah,
here.
yeah. But like this one, you say it's too much. Then
Yeah.
let's say suppose you cut it off here, right?
Yeah.
Then this is going to grow out this way,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't want to leave a space that's too bare very long.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Pull off more than cutting, yeah,
Okay.
because you can pinching at the same time.
Okay. Okay. Do you think this is too long? Should just cut this.
Well, you kind of wanted to go a little bit this way, so maybe cut off here or cut
Yeah,
off here.
and then
yeah.
keep these. So.
Yeah, maybe cut off right here. Yeah, so this will maybe grow out this way.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay, next branch.
Be over here.
Yeah.
Since these are these two branches are conflicting with each other.
Well, I think this branch is kind of okay.
Yeah.
This branch is kind of too inside,
Okay,
so
yeah,
pull it off. And then you don't want such a long branch.
Yeah.
What you can do is you cut off always remember to leave some green on the juniper so it'll grow out. Like if you cut it here, this branch will die. No more green. But if you cut it here, you see there's some green.
Right.
These will grow out, and then you can decide what to do next. So like this, it's a little bit long, but if you just say, well, I don't know what I want to do, just cut it.
Okay.
If you cut it, then this will start to force to branch out, then you can do it next time.
Okay.
More carefully selective.
Yeah. So I'll just trim this then. Too, on this side. Also here, it's growing up too high. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. So like this is a little bit long. Just cut it off, right?
Yeah. I feel like I'm still a little afraid to cut off too much.
Yeah, no, it will grow back.
Yeah.
So to be a little bit more serious, you wanted to change the front, so orient it properly.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then remember, this is your front. Okay? About right? Yeah, okay. Okay, you're almost done. There's still a few more.
Wait, I have a question about the tree leaves itself, right? Since this is a pine.
That's a juniper.
Okay, since this is a juniper, there's different types of leaves, right? Like these like longer, stringy ones, and then these shorter ones. I guess like what's the difference between these?
Well, these are new growths,
Right.
and these are the juvenile growths. And what happens is that when you pinch it and so forth, let's see, we decided, I think we cut off the apex already. I think we decided to make this the apex.
Yeah.
Although we started with a different idea. But, so for example, this I will pinch off a little bit. And so to answer your question about the juvenile leaves, eventually the mature tree, they will all have this.
Okay.
That's called scale needle, scales. And so, but when the new ones growing out, it tend to be more needle.
Yeah. Okay.
So it should be okay. In time, or even after a year after you clip it, you will have combination of both.
Right.
But as you pinch it, after that, everything's uniform.
Right.
So everything in due time. That's probably close enough. Now do the lower branches.
I guess like over here, there's like a bunch of like small branches with a lot of
Yeah.
leaves, right? So how would you deal with this?
So you thin them off in a sense of keeping the branches somewhat with a spacing, right? So anything that's not branches in the right spacing,
Right.
you pull it off. So now you can see it's less crowded. And then like this, they're all growing down. You will never have branches going down
Right.
because they don't get sun, so they died off.
Yeah.
And then so you just pull off the needles. You can either choose this one to grow out that way and then this way,
Yeah.
or you can use this to grow that way. You choose.
Yeah, I definitely like this one more.
Okay,
so
well,
let's
can cut off the bottom, pull it off. Yeah, pull it off easy.
see.
Pull it off all the way. When you do something, be determined and
Yeah.
Forceful. Get rid of it.
That's a little in there. Okay.
Yeah. And then this going down, so you pull it off. This
Yeah.
going up, you pull it off. And next time you will have plenty branches to work with.
Sure. All right.
Okay. I think now come to the back
Over here,
again.
yeah.
I think this branch is going off too long. This is not a bad way, so you can cut it off right here.
This here.
Yeah. Okay. And then again, you thin out the bottom. You see, now you can see what else you need to
Right.
cut off.
So I'll probably take this off.
Sure, that's good.
Yeah.
Probably enough.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, next time.
Over here.
Yeah, okay.
It's all dead over here.
Yeah, next time. Yeah.
Okay. So now this final branch.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's really long, right?
Yeah, cut it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
How about this one? How about finish up this
Finish
one?
it.
on
Yeah,
top?
sure. Getting sidetracked. Okay. This is quite a mess up here.
Yeah,
so-
clean up. you will not make mistake because they will grow back.
Yeah, let me see. Okay. Cut off the sides and then keep this growing,
Yeah.
like upwards. Yeah, this one's probably a little too long.
Way too long.
You can just cut it completely off.
Yeah.
How'd you deal with this? It's like
Okay.
kind of 3, 1, 2, 3. What do you see like this as over here?
So, well, this branch, yeah, it's okay. Give it a little bit more, cover that hole. And then this tree wants to come this way, so you probably...
I think you might just cut the middle one off.
Yeah. See how easy it's just to pull it off,
Right.
and it won't come back up again. And then this right now is kind of, I'd rather let it grow this way.
Okay.
And I don't know what it will look like, but, let it go the next time before I decide, right? So this is the last branch. Let's clean that up and it's done.
Okay. So right now I feel like it's super stringy, very long branches on the sides with like no leaves at all.
Yeah, I don't know. When you look at that angle, that's your front.
Yeah.
You kind of want to have more
Going out this
breadth.
way.
Yeah. So I will leave this one alone.
I need definitely touch this a lot. And here. Or maybe not.
No, I don't think so. Just leave it alone for a minute. Then this can provide the back branching. So I'll probably cut it off right here. So this is going up. So there you are, you're done. And then this branch, I think, if you look at the front, probably be nice if it's pulled down a bit.
Yeah.
And so you put a guy wire, very easy, you remove it in a couple months, you will not damage a thing. Again, I'm cracking a little bit, but it's quite all right. Because the cambium layers are connected, or the bark is connected. So there you are. Go look at the front. How do you like it?
So actually I think I'm going to turn it this way instead of having it from this way, turn it over here. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea. The point is that this is a good-looking tree, honestly, but it doesn't have as much depth. By turning it this way, it has a lot more interesting features.
Yeah.
Going backwards, going forward on the side. I think this is a very good choice.
Right.
So what we will do, I could do it now actually with Juniper, but I don't want to take up time to make a video too long. Can take it out of the pot, reorient it, to be facing the front,
Right.
to be the
Right.
front, and then it will be done. But I think I'd rather prefer to do it like in October and November, and that will be our 6 months update, and we'll
Right.
do it again.
Yeah, sure. So should we remove this then? Should we remove this?
No,
so
I
it's
just
not...
added on.
Okay.
I wanted this to have a little bit of a bigger angle.
All right, cool.
So let us summarize what we've done today.
Yeah.
In conclusion, what we did today, Ian, my grandson, and I did today, is that I first worked on this overgrown juniper to reshape it. Again, this is about a 50-some year, at least a 50 to 75-year-old juniper tree. And we worked to share with Ian how to do a bonsai, and he asked a lot of good questions along the way. And then we did this next one is that I let him work on his own, pretty much on his own, on a tree that he picked about 2 years ago, so that he's refining it. So someday he will be able to manage the tree all by himself. So that's what we did, and he chose to reorient the tree from this angle to this angle, and I chose to tilt this tree up a little bit to give it more of a tilt. And so he chose this to be the front, which I think is a good choice. And the point is that as you rework the tree, you refine the top, you reorient the tree, you turn the tree to optimize. And year after year of this kind of continuous improvement, that's what you make a fine bonsai. And so it's a rewarding, patient kind of a hobby that I hope you will really enjoy. So with that in mind then, any thoughts, afterthoughts about working on these two bonsai?
I mean, I guess definitely not worrying about cutting too much off. That's something that I think stuck with me today. I really like how we changed the angle of it, so it looks kind of more full on the sides.
Yeah. So life and everything else is a continuous improvement. You try to do it right the first time, but often it's unrealistic. You got to make continuous improvement.
And then in like 6 months, then you'll redo it again,
Yeah.
cut it, trim it again.
Yeah, that's what we will do. We'll give you a 6 months update. So with that, then I thank you very much, and I hope you like what we did.
Yeah.
Give us
up.
some
Yeah,
credit, thumbs up,
Yeah.
and go to our website to sign up to become our VIP, so that we can notify your goodies. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next week. Well, thank you very much for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel and tell a friend. And most importantly, go to our website and sign up to become our VIP so that we can send you announcements of special considerations. Thank you very much. See you next week.